Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shamayo. This is We Metaphysical and Wellness Fairs for embodying body, mind, heart, and soul. We have fairs throughout the Northwest in Seattle, Portland, Salem, and Eugene, and we also have lots of events online. We interview our practitioners and healers so you get a chance to know who we are before you meet us at an event. I'm here today interviewing Cathleen Connor. Kathleen, it's lovely to have you.
Yeah, it's great to see you, even if it's just via Zoom. It's been a while since I've seen you in person.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I'm so excited that you're joining our events. Well, so what is it that you offer? What do you share at our events?
It really is part of, this as soon as somebody asks me that question, I go into my ADD brain because what I love about the Access Consciousness tools is I'm trained in what's called Access Consciousness. And it's been around for about 30 years. And what I love about the tools, it's mostly teaching people to know what they know. So each event is a little bit different and each session is different based on what's up for people in their life. But one of the things that really drew me into Access was somebody asking me, do you have any idea of the gift that you be? And I know that's not proper grammar, I'm a teacher too, but it's more that energy of like the gift that you be in the world and having access to that through tuning into your own knowing. So my sessions, I think what I called it this time is that tapping into your body's awareness and the earth's awareness is part of what we're covering, and then also uncovering where you're making yourself wrong so you can step into being you.
Mm-hmm. What is sort of the philosophy of Access Consciousness? I didn't realize it had been around for so long too, but maybe, so it's what do you be in the world, right? What is your being? But then how does it work? How's it different from other modalities? Like, what is it like?
That's a great question, because before I found out about the Access tools, and I found out about them at like a Body, Mind, Spirit Expo, so it's funny. I had already trained in NLP up to the master level, and I've trained in the body talk system and hypnosis, all sorts of things. But the Access tools for me are like the easiest and the fastest for me to get back to consciousness. So they have a combination of Bodywork. So I'm what's called a Access Bars facilitator, and that's like a particular kind of bodywork that I can teach and offer sessions in. And then there's also sit down classes where people clear whatever is limiting them from being able to step into the world and be who they be.
And how do so I'm a little, so bars, right? It has to do with points on the head, right?
Yes.
Is that, can you say anything about like just in general that is?
Yeah, there's like 32 points on the head that when you hold, like for me, one of my other part-time jobs is being a teacher. And I love to go and trade bars with somebody once a week because it like clears your body of anything that you've held on to, so anybody that's one of those people that picks up stuff or picks up other people's points of view, it helps clear all of that. So unlike like what some people are familiar with Reiki, where that's more like a energy going in, and Access has like 40 other body processes, but this primary one is clearing and discharging that which is, holding your body in a limited space.
Mm-hmm. And it's what are, just to give us a glimpse of like the 40 other ones, like what are the kinds of things also that you offer in a deeper session?
Yeah, so in a deeper session, it depends on what people are asking for. So if they're asking to have more ease with their body, I would, specifically work on that. If they're asking to have more ease with receiving money, we'd work on that. If it's more ease in relationships, so it really depends on what individuals bring. But in the sessions, it's more clearing any limitations that people have for them to be able to choose freely and have infinite possibilities with their choices.
Okay, so this is what you meant by like a sit down session. So this requires some more conversation about some different things to identify what those topics are. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then it sounds like there's an energy process that's done around those topics, or?
Right. So if we were doing like, let's say, in an online fair, of course, I can't touch people, but that if I was doing like a bodywork session, then it would involve touch as well. But there's a lot, as you know, for sure, that can be done even when you're not meeting in person with
Well,
somebody.
go ahead, share a little bit about the in-person and then share a little bit about online and like the different kinds of things. So say more about like if it were
So
something where you could touch
in
them.
person, for a bar session, like I mentioned, there's 32 points on the head. Like there's one behind your ear on top, and some of them help clear where you have points of view about aging, let's say, or another one helps clear points of view about money and receiving money. They have points of view about healing. So there's all these different spots that when you clear them, it allows your body to be more your guide in terms of receiving the things that you're asking for.
So a bar session is more physical, and then when there's more of the conversation, it's going in specific to certain types of the bar's practice. That's
It's not
that's
the bars practice that we'd necessarily focus on so yeah, for the sit down classes or a sit down session, it can be any topic that somebody chooses, and then we look at where they're limiting themselves that way, unconsciously usually, and how to let that go, and how mostly to get people out of the wrongness of them and get back to, like, a lot of people treat their awareness and their knowing and their gifts as wrongness because it's not sometimes honored here and it hasn't been honored by other people. So it gives them a chance to kind of like peel off the layers of where they've made themselves wrong, or even where they've made themselves right. Like if they're like, they think, well, it's right to always be perky and happy and present this way in the world. Like, so it's getting away from the right and the wrong and like peeling away, how do I be myself and honor and trust myself and be vulnerable with myself in the way that I can bring my gifts to the world and just be me and change the world.
and then so can you give me a glimpse of like what is the body work like with working with one of those?
um if I'm sorry, in terms of
Oh,
like, if I'm meeting with somebody hands on, then we don't
yes,
do as much talking. If I'm meeting with somebody in a session, then there'd be more talking and clearing involved.
in an online
Um,
session. And
yeah,
so,
we might do
okay.
some talking with an energetic body session, but usually those are about letting the body receive and kind of putting the brain aside.
And is that the body work is not just the head, it's throughout the whole body? Is that
Yeah, the bars are specifically on the head, but there's like I don't know, more than 40 other processes that have to do
okay?
with like your immune system and like shifting and changing, like mutating, especially because currently we've heard so much information about a virus, right? Mutating your body so that whatever you're playing with, whether it's a virus or something else, your body can be like, oh, hi, and kind of mutate and move with it instead of resisting it, or aligning and agreeing with people's points of views about it, and just playing with it and mutating and changing it in a way that will be nurturing for you.
And I say, and I was a biologist, so I don't know if people know these things, but the immune system is based on mutation. It's based on recombination and coming up with different sequences so that we can meet and like be with all the different things in our environment that show up.
That's great,
So
because
yeah,
you probably know a lot more about the physical part of it, but so many of us have unlearned that our bodies can do that.
right. Well, let's see. So then when it's an online session, so right, there's a bit more conversation, and then is there energy work that you're doing? You're doing energy work remotely. Is that what's happening or?
Yeah, usually it's right. It's clearing through using a clearing statement. The Access Consciousness has some words that they use as a clearing statement, and then also just asking people questions that brings up the energy. So it's like any place where people have aligned and agreed with something or resisted or reacted, they're usually in polarity. But if they bring that up and we do some verbal clearing with that, then they can get more awareness about what other choices they have.
Mm. Okay, great, great. And just do you want to say a little bit about how did you get started doing this work?
Yeah, let's see. Like I said, it was about maybe 10 years ago that I went to a Body Mind Spirit Expo, and a friend of mine told me about it, and so I got like a 20-minute session with my bars being around, and I'm like, well, that was nice. I mean, it really wasn't like wow, because it's a 20-minute session. um, but then there was somebody in town that started doing some intro classes, and I got a little bit more intrigued. And then a friend of mine asked me to go ahead and come and learn how to run, people's bars. And I honestly went in skeptical, But I swear it was my body that got me to that class. It wasn't me, because, you know, your mind sounds like, well, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But my body's like, go to that class. By the end of the day, after taking, the reason why they're called the bars, it's like a point between here and here in your head that you're releasing that looks like a bar. That by the end of the day, you run it on 2 people and then you receive it twice. My body was just like so much more relaxed and expanded than it normally is, that I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to keep checking it out. And then I went to more of the sit down classes where I realized all the different distractor implants in this reality, all the ways that we make ourselves wrong, like I said, and it just is like the quickest way I've found to free myself up when I'm stuck with anything.
It's great. So it sounds like people can come to you with all different types of topics.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, great. Are there some that are particularly common? Like it sounds like money is a particular one, and
Well,
then
it's, you know, yeah, it really depends on what's up for people, but especially now with all the changes in the economy, that I think money is up for a lot of people right now. But it's really what's personal for you, because if you happen to be in a tough relationship and you want to see what else is possible, we can address that. I know even with, I have 2 sons, they're in their 20s now, and it just freed up my relationships with them as well. Once I noticed how I was projecting and expecting certain things of them instead of just allowing them to be who they be.
oh, that's great. If people want to learn more about you, where do they go online?
Well, I think the easiest way online is I have actually on the website, it's called accessconsciousness.com. I have, you know, if you look me up in particular, Cathleen Connor, you can find me there. My website is under construction right now, so I don't even want to give that one, because you might go in and it might be under construction. But so I have Facebook, Cathleen Connor, and it's Kathleen spelled with a C and Connor with an OR. And on the Access Consciousness website, there's lots of great classes on there. And then my email, just Kathleen spelled with a C at accessconsciousness.com.
Great, great. Lovely talking with you.
Yes. Yeah,
And
thanks.
so for those of you watching and listening, you can find out more about us and our events at MeWeFairs.com. That's MEWEFAIRS.com. Thank you so much, Kathleen.
Thank you, Lorelei.